Hello, good morning, and welcome to What's Hot on Silverbird Television. Every day I come here to discuss with you about the trending stories across social media. I'm always very excited, and yes, this is another day to burn it up and let you know that this is Nigeria's first social media show on your television. Yes, my name is Vera Chuku, and I'm in the studio with my colleagues. Hi, Tishine, how are you?
Hi, Vera. You said we should burn it all up. So
yes,
we'll
we are.
Burn everything. All right, good morning, viewers from wherever you may be watching across the globe. My name is Tishine. You're welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to What's Hot. My name is Chidera Amakanya Duha.
Okay. Welcome. And yes, regarding burning it all up, this morning we're starting with quite a sad story because a Kaduna widow identified as Mama Mary has reportedly died after being abducted by bandits who demanded 10 million naira for her release. According to security analyst Ruben Buhari, the family could only raise 2 million naira. Mama Mary was reportedly kidnapped alongside 3 others. 13 days after speaking publicly about the plight of displaced residents in Katari. She is survived by 4 children. This heartbreaking case has once again highlighted the devastating human and financial cost of insecurity in Kaduna and many communities in Nigeria. I'm going to take 2 comments on Instagram. So the first person is Sugar ND, and this person is saying, the people have started again, or these people have started again. At this point, if you have the opportunity to jackpot, please do well to go. And the second comment is saying, this is from Gaddaf RF, and says, you won't believe Nigeria is always going backward till you visit police stations, task force office, and many places like that, Sha. Just put this in your daily prayer. May Nigeria not happen to me and my family and even everyone else. First of all, let Mama Mary's soul rest in peace. This is very sad. It's quite a really sad story. And you know, talking about insecurity in Nigeria is something that we can never get tired of because everybody deserves security in Nigeria. And this woman, you know, she died 13 days after speaking about, you know, internally displaced people. That's refugees in, you know, that part of Nigeria. And the funny thing is she wasn't even from that particular community, and she had same security issues in her own community, only to come and find her death. And to think that she's a widow and she left behind 4 kids, who will take care of these kids? Will the government step in to also ensure that these kids have quality education? Or will our children be amongst another set of 1,500 people that will be married off because they are now orphans? What's really going to be the fate of her kids? What's going to be the fate of that community? Is highly disturbing that up till now we still hear the case of banditry, and it feels very targeted somehow because, I mean, the story as well, you know, considering the fact that, you know, she was on her way and then they kidnapped her, asked for money, got 2 million naira and still choked her to death. How pathetic. Well, the floor is open. Tishine, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, for this report, from January up until now, we've not had any form of information that will give Nigerians relief and say, what a good news, what a great day. We've finally seen the light at the end of the tunnel. We've finally gotten breakthrough. From January up until now, we've had numbers upon numbers, 163, 308, in targeted hotspots. We have the North Central, we have the Northwest, Kaduna, Kwara. Now bringing down to the South, we have Oyo State. We have different regions that have been affected and targeted. Now we don't know who will be thief, we don't know who will be kidnapper, we don't know who will be bandits. And looking at information flying around one of the streets that, you know, people keep saying allegedly the military are complicit. We have other people who are complicit in this game. Some are using it as political gambles. And in my mind, I'm like, are we in a zoo? You can actually call this Zootopia 3, because now this woman left her own hometown. I think this is Southern Kaduna, this Kateri part you're talking about, and then she moved on to Kateri, and she had to voice out. Are you saying that being the voice to the voiceless, or being someone you want to speak out about a certain thing, you are actually being targeted and you are being killed?
Allegedly.
Exactly. I'm asking the question now. I'm asking the question now because it is, the math is not mathing at all. Because if Mama Mary, we are still having issues in Jos Plateau, where Reverend Dachomo is still saying, I think 9 of his own family members are already gone.
Yes.
We have other situations like that, leaving people destabilized, leaving people traumatized, and we have these criminals who are violent, ruthless, merciless, callous. They are still roaming around, and you begin to ask the questions. All of these ammunitions in a country where ammunitions are not even legal in the first place. You see all these people going about, even on TikTok. I don't tire.
You know, oh my God, it's so sad, Chidera.
Anyways, rest in peace to the woman who lost her life. It just happened that she was sadly caught up with the menace that happens in a country where we find ourselves in Nigeria. And this is just, I feel, I don't want to believe, in fact, I believe that her death was targeted, right? I just believe that someone obviously or may have come for her because of, you know, her low-key sort of activism, because you read
It wasn't even low-key.
Yes, no,
in
it
that
wasn't
she
low-key,
talked
she
about
spoke
it. When it comes
up.
to women
She
like
spoke-
that, they actually voice out.
So nobody is safe, honestly. The best we can just do is keep talking. A lot of people would lose their life as a result, but it just happens that, I mean, it's just so sad that she's leaving four children, right?
4 kids.
4 kids behind, and only God knows what's going to be the fate of those children afterward. Because she doesn't have any husband, right? It's just so sad.
And now some people, they come up with speculations and deliberations or even arguments that, oh, it is churches that are being targeted, mosques. Matter of mind you, we have schools, we have highways, we have IDP communities that are being targeted every single time. And now people are now going about individuals targeting them. And then if you want to put it on the flip side, if you are going for these vulnerable people, they don't have the money. They are basically farmers or people that are just going by just to get, you know, just to survive or put food on their table. So now if you're saying, oh, some people are saying, oh, this is so political and so political, why attack the vulnerable citizens? Why attack the displaced persons? Why not go for the people at the top? Because they are the ones that have the money that can give you now. Because if you're asking for 10 million naira and they were able to raise 2, and you still went ahead, do you know when I read in the story, they had to put the chain on her neck until she choked to death. And this is quite embarrassing, so unfortunate, such a shame on the government, because at this point, we don't really know what to say. Okay, yes, we understand that some authorities are on rescue missions, but yeah, how to cope this thing intricately, it is the answer we are looking for.
Oh my God, I feel like saying moments of silence for Mama Mary, and it feels very
Why are you talking
sad.
like you know her personally? Very
Right?
See, she's human after all, and she's a Nigerian.
A widow.
And one thing that baffles me in this story is the fact that her kids are in Kaduna, the northern part of Nigeria, where we know that, you know, once you're an orphan, you are almost eligible for mass wedding, you know. So it's really a sad story all the way around if you look at it 360. And I'm not going to sit here to say why not go for people at the top. I'm going to say, what are people at the top doing? If you can't get this over with, then resign. What is the Minister of Defense doing? Why is banditry lingering this long? Why is insurgency lingering this long? People in weak and vulnerable communities deserve security as well. People in urban areas deserve security as well. Nigerians have suffered enough. And imagine the comments saying that may Nigeria never happen to you. A lot of people feel like they need to escape that sentence. They need to japa away from Nigeria. So may her soul rest in peace. But we have to move on to the next story.
And man, moving to the next story, still on, you know, political gamut as usual. But this is business unusual because we have somebody, this is an actress, an Hollywood actress, who came out to say, oh, this is the truth and this is what we've been experiencing. She's saying, if you see me behind, in her quotes now, if you see me behind any politician, just know that I'm doing it for financial benefit. And this is from actress Ronke Oshodiuke. She had an interview with African A-List where she was asked some couple of questions. I remember she was asked about her health issues. She mentioned some people that you know, helped her. Now to political questions, she's now saying, look, you people, don't drag me, don't judge me. I'm telling you the truth now. If you see me behind any politician, it is for the financial benefit because I also want to put food on my table. I am surviving as you are. And then I'll take a couple of comments just to comment actually. This is from Ola Bukola Gold on Instagram who says, she's more like an actress and influencer. Most of our influencers don't use the product. They advertise, they do it for the money. It's like this person is giving us business education. I will take one more, and this is from Rosa Radiance who says, you are not alone, ma. Nobody in Nigeria do politics for people's interests. While others are saying, I rate her honesty. In the comment section, everybody was saying at least she spoke her truth. Some people will pretend, they will say they are not collecting anything. But yes, she came out to say it as it is, that look, this is what it is. The industry, is it industry we'll call the political sector? Whatever. Politics is actually dirty. And my question is, who is going to make politics clean? Because from time immemorial, we've been hearing politics is dirty, you put your hands in this. And she made mention of it as well, saying she cannot even say all of the things that happens in politics or whatever party she may be choosing. And she's not saying you should not choose whoever you want to choose, but she, for her own, it's for her financial benefit, because she needs to take care of herself, take care of her kids, and take care of so many other things. What do you have to say about that?
Well, what I have to say, well, Chidera, do you want to go? Yeah. So what I have to say is the fact that, yes, it's one thing for people to say, oh, she's honest, she's speaking her truth. It's another thing for you to realize that you guys are not ready. Madam Ronke, if you come out like this as a public figure, to speak like this is disturbing. Reason being that we are trying to make people to stop taking rice in exchange for votes so that we can have a better future. We are trying to make people stop taking pants, groundnut oil, wheelbarrows in exchange for their votes. So when you come out and say that you can take money in exchange for your vote or in exchange for your allegiance to a political party or any politician, is disturbing. That just changes the narrative that, okay, in as much as Nigerians are clamoring for better, when we see peanuts dangling at our faces, we're still ready to collect it. Shame on everybody who would come out to support the notion that, apart from sincerity, you're ready to exchange your vote for whatever peanuts has been given to you. Full stop.
Okay, so I'm not exactly going to, blame her for making that statement. We live in Nigeria, right? The average Nigerian is selfish. The average Nigerian would point fingers at something that is, especially if they're not in the limelight. So a typical example is what happened with Tony Abraham. So where everyone was lashing her because she was a strong supporter of the current administration, right? And I was part of the people who lashed at her. But then again, she just speaking the words of too many Nigerians. How many people how would one person cannot win the battle? One person cannot win the war. So if you are saying, oh, okay, she should be the good egg out of the bad, right? How long is it going to take? It's almost like she's going to be fighting on her own. So it's like every single person is selfish. Every Nigerian is selfish. Every single Nigerian, I'd like to believe that most Nigerians would kiss asses, would kiss butts just to get to where they are getting to. So it's almost like if you're pointing the finger at her and you're trying to crucify her for making such a statement, there are also instances where your integrity has been questioned or where your integrity would be questioned. So this is really just one of the many dead conversations that some of these celebrities and quotes would come and talk about. So I would be the last person to come out and be like, oh, this is that. So yeah, that's
Interesting. So first of all, human being in general, we are capable of being selfish. Everybody, right? But we choose what we choose at the end of the day. And then there is the statistics from, the United Nations that say that Nigeria will be one of the countries in 50 years to see the limelight, okay? And I'm asking you, how old will you be in 50 years? So if we don't start now to change the narrative, when will we start to change the narrative? If we succumb to the fact that, the people are wicked, everybody is selfish, at what point are we going to see this redemption that we're looking for? It means that you that is out there, once you get to the seat of power, you are also not going to make a change and be a different person. And besides, you mentioned something, Chidera, that struck me. You said Tony Abraham supported the APC administration. Supported, right? Now, this woman is coming out to tell you she's not supporting anybody. Bring the money, I will switch to any party. And that's the most dangerous person you want to be with in any kind of business. So it's disturbing. It's not just about politics alone. It's about the fact that this person is not reliable, this person is not loyal, and you can't even find yourself doing business with people like that. It's disturbing, honestly.
Do you mean for Ronke or...
I'm comparing Ronke and the Tony Abraham situation.
Is it because Tony Abraham did not come out to speak?
She came out to tell you, I will support the APC administration, which is not bad, by the way. Because if you are for PDP, be for PDP. If you are for APC, be for APC. Go out and vote. Let your vote stand with your conscience. So that tomorrow, whatever we see as Nigerians, you will beat your chest and say, I voted for this, right? Not the fact that your vote was bought. So if the people are suffering now tomorrow and complaining, you'll be part of the problem because you actually sold your votes that should have made a difference. I don't know if you get me.
Okay, yeah, I think I pretty much
makes no
understand. But
sense.
looking at this kind of thing, it is politics, and we are practicing.
And she did not even exactly say a presidential or governorship, like a governorship candidate.
Hold on. And everyone's vote is to whichever aspirant or whoever you want, right?
Exactly.
But now in this notion, she coming out, she's one out of many that's actually made that decision. So looking at the fact that I saw that particular comment that said, as an influencer or whatever, it's not even about the product, it's about them just collecting their money. It's good doing business with you and we are done. So yeah, but it begs to ask the question that, is this how we are going to continue? But yeah, it is to our own candidate, so we cannot actually fault her. Maybe now, this one that they even do and co, they will buy clothes, they will do this. And of course, they will pass, different things to just make them look like, oh, this party, we just have to win.
Again, I say that she says if she's standing behind a politician. She did not specifically say a presidential candidate or a governorship candidate. It could be a councillor, a local government chairman, it could be a senator, it could be someone from the House of the Reps. So she did not specifically say, oh, if you see me behind like president, maybe come 2027 or towards the end of politician, and it could cut across any position, any political position.
So my heart is very broken. And anyways, I do not agree with you people, but we are all entitled to our own opinion. Don't collect money because you want to sell your vote to any politician, and it trickles down from presidency to local government level, and that's why communities today, they suffer because some people will sit down somewhere and siphon the kind of money that they are siphoning. So personally, I do not agree, but we have to move on to the next story.
All right, this is a man publicly apologizing to his wife for cheating in front of
Nice.
Pastor Apostle Arobe Osai and the entire congregation. And he said, I want to thank God for my wife. This woman, I don't know if you guys may have seen the video. I want to thank God for my wife. This woman has stood with me for 16 years in this Makurdi. I have abandoned this woman at home and stayed in hotels for months. This woman has seen ladies' panties in my hotel room. This woman recovered a phone from me that was a phone of a mistress. I had and chats of pictures or videos of whatever you can think. She saw them and she did not leave. God kept her, and the reason God kept her was to pray me back into my salvation. Okay, so let me take some comments here. This is from Lefty, and she said, a good woman, in quotes, in Nigeria is defined by how much wrongdoing she can absorb without leaving. A good woman, however, should be the one that can love, forgive, set boundaries, demand accountability, and walk away when necessary. This one is from Businesswoman, and she said, if my husband do this thing, that will be the end of our marriage. We are done, and for 16 years, the children will be smart enough. I'll just leave them with him. This is beyond nonsensical. Instead of hiding his stupid head in shame, he came out to tell the whole world he has been a cheat. I bet you the idiot is still cheating. Okay, one more. He said, this woman stood there to receive and soak up the public shame and embarrassment. The man could not even knew. He's 50 and old age has come. He wants to amend his ways for his maid to nurse and care. By maid, she meant his wife, to nurse and care for him when he's still wearing Pampers. See, I just saw this as rubbish. Really, the man has lost his senses, because how are you publicly owning up to allegedly cheating on your wife multiple times? So okay, so because if I had to read it again to actually understand, because he said I had been away from home and stayed in hotels for months, and I thought, okay, maybe it was ministerial duties that took him away from work, and he had to lodge in hotels for a couple of months. And then I go ahead to see that this woman has seen me with women's panties, and she has seen me with phones, and I'm like I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what it is with men. I don't know if the woman herself is a fool. right? Because she stood beside the man and she just kept nodding her head. I'd like to think that maybe that's her robot or something, because she just kept nodding her head. And it is so, the one that shocked me to the bone was the congregation kept clapping.
Yeah.
Why are you guys clapping? Like, are you, that was like the stupidity of the highest order. Every single one of them was in support of what the man was saying. Why was the congregation clapping? Can you help me? Can you help me answer that question?
Vera is just shaking her head like, what the heck is going on? What am I listening to?
As in, Tisha, what do you say?
To be very honest, when I saw that video, I'm like, I also joined them to clap. I said, oh, this is so nice. And for them to call it testimony, I'm like, okay, what church is this? Is this how they share testimony? And probably maybe the husband and the wife, they watch War Room. Maybe it's from that movie War Room, she now took,
it's not even War Room at all. Let's even give War Room a break.
She took a cue from War Room. And then she'd be like, she didn't even say anything, because it was basically the man that had the microphone. I was talking and talking. I'm like, first time I would see a man that would really, really testify like this, because most times I see women do all of the testimony. They're saying, oh, once upon a time, my husband used to be this, and now God has brought him back. And then he said, God kept her so that he can be saved. But yeah, this is, would I call it a problem? Indoctrination. We've been brainwashed before time. We've been given information that, oh, you have to stay in this marriage. It is for life, it's to life and to hold, till death do you part, for better or worse. If anything is happening, you don't have the choice to leave. So you don't know who to blame or what to blame at this point, because at this point when you see people clapping, you're asking why people are clapping. That's because they understand the doctrine that has been taught them, and they feel like this is the pathway that you should go on how to save your marriage. But the question is this how to save your marriage? Should you walk away or should you remain in it?
This matter tire me, because if you ask me now I go ask. But I like the fact that, churches are beginning to preach divorce and preach that if something doesn't work for you, you have to leave, so it doesn't take your life, it doesn't take your peace, blah, 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 and all. I like the fact that there are a lot of churches out there now who come to break the stereotype that is until death do us part, whether you like it or not, even if you're dying. Now, because human being is dynamic in nature, you cannot predict what the next person will do. And so there are some people out there who will go any length to get what they want so that they continue to torment that person. So this man just gives me the vibe of a man that could just go any length to apologize to her so that he continues his nonsense. Because tell me how you frustrate someone to this point and still expect the same person. I mean, even it's more like a chemical reaction. Like, you don't expect the former material. There's definitely going to be a change, and you've broken this woman to a great extent. So are you expecting to see the same woman you fell in love with, or you're expecting to see the monster you created? Because for every time she brings up stuff out of insecurity, like, oh, you're going out again by this time of the night, where are you going to? And you now come out to say, you are disturbing, you're complaining, bygone is bygone, you're not supposed to mention it. So I don't get it. And if it was this woman coming out in front of the congregation like this,
she could
plead,
not say.
Yeah, to plead and to beg for forgiveness, or to apologize to her husband, will the congregation be clapping, or will they throw stones at her and call her harlot, prostitute, and what name ever that comes out of their mouth? So this is highly disturbing that we have a society that will applaud nonsense like this. The only part where, people drag religion, you're entitled to your own opinion, but I think that this is a societal problem. If you step out of there, you see people of different doctrines and different religions doing the same thing, like, oh, you're supposed to reverence your husband, you're supposed to take him back even if he cheats. But will he take you back if you cheat? What nonsense!
But there's someone that says that cheating is not even a deal breaker for them. So if you cheat, they are still there.
No, it's the hypocrisy for me, right? Yes, it's not a deal breaker for you.
No,
you would
no,
say. For some women, right? It's not a deal breaker. Let me rephrase. But then, it's a deal breaker for the man you're with. So you guys are not even aligning. Because if it's not a deal breaker, go and cheat. She too should go and cheat. You guys come back and love each other together. I think that cheating partners should be meeting each other so that you guys can enjoy that part of your life together. Because
I just think that some religion encourages women to endure BS, really. because I don't understand. I don't even see the logic in what the man was saying, right? It was like they were celebrating him cheating. They were celebrating her enduring for the longest time. I think he said they've been married for 16 years. He was celebrating her humiliation, celebrating what? Because I'm trying to understand why. In fact, I'm still after why the congregation was clapping.
They were clapping.
The man on his own is a douchebag, right? And I hope he suffers the consequences of his actions, right? But why exactly were the congregants clapping?
Okay.
Tisha, please go first.
Okay, so now if you see, you asked the question in the first place. I said indoctrination is a very powerful thing, and it's a very powerful tool when you want to make a whole set of people or millions of people to align with what you are thinking. So now they clap because they've been indoctrinated that once you sin, and then you confess your sins, all things are passed away, you become new. That is part of the indoctrination. So they have been like, okay, this man has sinned now, and then for the woman to say, for him to now mention that manipulative word saying that, oh, God kept her so that she'll be praying for his salvation, meaning, and I remember in the Bible that salvation is personal. It's for everybody now to deal with. So that word alone, I felt it was manipulative. And the people were like, okay, so this woman is a very strong woman. So that kind of thinking pattern, that is what they are being indoctrinated with. That is the reason.
Hey, God, I want to answer, and I don't want to answer based on religion, because it is a societal problem. Those people in church will eventually close and go home and become part of the society, Abi. So I would like to link it to our previous story, why they clapped, right? Ronke came out and said that she can collect money from any politician, just so that she backs them, right? And people were clapping. I can't fault her. Yes, it's good, And me, I'm wondering, why are people even applauding her for her sincerity? Nigeria, we don't have road, we don't have good healthcare, we don't have quality education. Yet people are clapping. We need politicians in the right places that could make things work. So as long as people can applaud that kind of thing in society, when you get to church, you will still see the same kind of people that will applaud this rather rubbish, because the man came out to apologize and also celebrate the woman's struggles in his life over time. And people are clapping because we live in a society that celebrates a woman going through rubbish. That's when they know you're a strong woman. When you can take nonsense. When the man will cheat on you and you forgive him, you're a strong woman. When you can go and start pounded yam in his family house for everybody to eat and you're living there, that's when they know you're a strong woman. So, society needs to wake up to the fact that women are human beings too and not robots.
For me, at the point, I want to feel like the woman is helpless, because I want to feel like, maybe this man, yes, because the man has been in control from the beginning of the marriage, because that's what is, if you check the roots, you will see that society. Yes, you see that this man has been in control over time. Probably he has been the main provider and this woman is not doing anything. Maybe she's a full-time housewife, so you don't even have to question some certain things. You just be like, well, Sha, anything that goes, it goes. Whatever happens, happens. She just trusts it to destiny and she trusts it to the universe. So that must have actually been another root cause that we need to deliberate on.
Oh my God, so this is quite interesting, but we have to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Tell me, in our What's Hot DM right now, do you belong to the people who would forgive your wife? Or if your wife cheats on you and come out in the congregation to plead, are you going to take her right back? And if your husband cheats on you and come out to the congregation to plead, are you going to take him right back? This is insane, but we want to know. Don't go anywhere. We have more stories. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is What's Hot on Silverbird Television, where we talk about everything trending on social media. My name is Rita Edochie. I'm still in the studio with T-Shine and Chidera. Oh my God. So if you're just joining us, you have missed a lot, because we've had series of conversations about stories on social media. And the last conversation we had before going on a break is the fact that, a married man came out after 16 years of marriage, came out in front of the congregation in his church to start, they called it testimony, but he was pleading and also celebrating the struggles of his wife, that she has accepted him regardless of the fact that he's been cheating on her, regardless of the fact that she has found him in hotel rooms. It's just absurd what society has come to, normalize. But regardless, we have to move on to the next story. I'm moving on to the next story, talking about, cheating, not cheating, men being monogamous in one minute and then choosing to be polygamous in another minute. Actress Rita Edochie, veteran, let's add that, okay, came out to say on social media, stop calling yourself a second wife when the man hasn't legally divorced his first wife. A man's promise isn't a divorce decree. I'm going to just kind of like quickly read what she wrote. She said, I must enter the Ajah mansion by fire, by thunder. You wish. Desperation can make you ignore the red flags. Stop calling yourself a second wife. When the man has not legally divorced his first wife, your feeling, his promises, and your ignorance of the law do not make an invalid marriage valid. A man who has contracted a statutory marriage cannot simply decide that the marriage is over and move on to marry another woman under the same law. Until the first marriage is properly dissolved, it remains a subsisting marriage. Living apart, fighting, stopping communication, or even having children with another woman does not automatically end the first marriage. Interesting. I'm going to take 2 comments. This is Lucy NG2 on Instagram, and she says, no matter what you do in this life, avoid offending this woman. People involved moved on, but auntie no gree. Then the second comment is from Oladok, and Oladok is saying, I once said this, if the Edochie's family are not supporting this woman, she could have stopped this dragging. I guess she's the Edochie's mouthpiece because she's too consistent. I like that last comment, honestly, because what is this? I think sometime last week we had a conversation around her coming out to speak, and now we're seeing this. I think that there's a lot of drama going on underground that we really don't know about, and she's giving us some tea little by little in case, you know, the apple just decides to burst. Anyways, the floor is open.
All right, you know, we've known this veteran actress as someone who comes up with some cryptic messages online, and she throws subtle jabs, and of course, you know, netizens, they do not rest.
And we know who she's throwing the jabs at.
Exactly, so it's pretty obvious. I saw in the comments, particularly on Instagram, where people are saying, Madam, rest, Madam, rest. We already know who you are talking to. This is not a general advice, it's not a generic advice. But here she's making sense, because I want to feel like this woman was fully invested in this couple's first marriage. That is Rita Edochie and his previous wife. I think she was fully invested.
Previous wife, okay, and his wife. She's saying they are still married.
Okay, yes. No, that was she was stating that statutory. She was just stating the statutory and legal claims, and for her, she has her own reasons for saying that. But now to the question, no, I'm not even asking a question at this point. So she's been coming online. Some people are saying, oh, she's ranting, she's angry. But I want to pretty much think that she was fully invested in the previous relationship.
Is she married to them?
No, like she was previous. You know, like we have some aunties, like I saw in the comments where somebody saying, this is the kind of in-law you should have in your family, because this one, she will fight to the end and she will say that justice is being served. So this is the kind of person that you want to have at your side. When you see things go wrong, she's saying, oh no, I want to see that it comes to the right side and stuff like that. But yeah, it's giving me that vibe, that feeling of, it be like, say, I've invested so much in this previous thing and I don't want to see it go down the drain. And people will be like, oh, 5 years now, you're still saying the same thing, coming for this woman. People have moved on and you're still in the same spot. Marriage people, if you put mouth now, they'll just put you in the middle and they'll just settle their own. Well, that's what I have to say.
Chidera.
Okay, so I feel like this summer really needs to take a pill and chill. Like, the whole drama has been over for like since last year or thereabouts. People have moved on. I don't know, maybe she personally hates this Judy lady for her to be consistent with her jabs. Like, we're hearing from her this week, and in the next 2 weeks we're hearing something again, and it's still the same storyline. We just know that she's sending a subtle message, and she just needs, I understand all these kind of aunties, they'll continue to show you how much they hate you, but then auntie just is okay. Like, we've gotten the message.
So the thing is,
so
we have, okay, go ahead.
It's not going to change anything really. She'll still be insulting the lady, but she's married to Rita Edochie already, and the man in question that she may be fighting for has probably even most likely moved on from the entire situation.
So as a society, I feel like we have learned to normalize things and also learn to move on really quickly these days, because why not, right? I mean, now for her to come out to say that they are not legally married, right? Of course, and then to also say that he's not legally divorced. So there's a lot of problem here, and the fact that is you, Edochie, were talking about does not stop it from being true, does not stop it from being the reality of so many women in the society right now. And it's so wrong that you're legally married, and then the man goes on to marry another woman, you know, or bring another woman in as his wife, which he's not legally married to, and this woman starts claiming position. Now let me make an example. You have a family meeting or a general family gathering. He comes into this family gathering with his supposed wife, new wife that is not legally married to him, and then the legally married wife is there because she has relationship with, you know, the family, and she has kids for this man. So maybe it's a compulsory family meeting, and then you just see things begin to play out. So when she comes out like this, you brought his family out in the first place. So this woman is giving us the tea and keeping us up to date, which I feel like, yes, we need this tea, spill it, ma, because this is the reality of so many people across the world, especially in Africa and in Nigeria, to be precise. So I mean, speaking of, yes, please don't get tired. People like us who want to listen. I don't know about you there, but me, I want to hear, because I mean.
Okay, so for some reasons, I don't think anyone will ever imagine in his or her life, I'm getting married today, and just next, or maybe in the next 5 years, or 3 months, or 6 months. Matter of fact, some people now 2 weeks now, they've already left the marriage. Another one, I saw 3 days, she left the marriage. Yes. So now it's now becoming so rampant. I wouldn't want to imagine or think that someone will say, oh, I'm getting married today, and I want to divorce. I want to intentionally divorce the next time. We see the likes of other celebrities, we see comedians, we see them, you know, with their divorce. They wouldn't, even if you ask them in an interview, they won't tell you that I ever thought when I was saying I do, I would say I'm not doing again. You know, at some point. So I feel like it's a pretty much very sensitive issue, and this thing called marriage is something that builds the society on the grand scheme of things, because for marriage, that is where we see some kind of behavioral traits. We see some people, they are bringing out narcissistic people, individuals. You know, it's so much, and this small family unit that we call family is the reason why we have a society as it is today. So for madam, I say madam, for mama, I say mama. For Rita Edochie, yes, she's a mama now. For Rita Edochie coming out to say, oh, this is this. There must have been something that she's saying. Maybe she doesn't want to fully spill.
Yes,
that she doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah,
and you know this African, this thing, we are so superstitious and religious. Maybe she don't, like in Yoruba, they'll say, boy, I want to test their labor. Maybe she has gone extra mile. Yeah. The spiritual angle. Yes, now. And they're telling her, this, that.
Shakini.
Yeah,
you don't go far. Anyways, we have to move on to the next story, please. Okay. Give us the next story.
Okay, now this next story, Abi, you're saying I go far. You will go farther. Moving on to the next story. Now, this is pretty interesting. We have the Japan Prime Minister and the person of Taikechi, who says, I'm so lonely. I befriended a cockroach. I don't know how blogs actually put up the caption, but for my own explanation, she befriended a cockroach because she said she was lonely. And this is a woman who is married. She was divorced, I think in 2000. She was married in 2004, divorced in 2017, and remarried in 2021 somewhere. But yeah, so we have Seine Taikachi, who revealed she felt unexpectedly lonely and sad after our staff eliminated cockroaches from our official residence in Tokyo. So this is how the story went. So there is this, I don't know whether they believe in this reincarnation thing. You know, Japan has a way.
They have a weird psychology.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So she'd be talking about ghosts in the office. So our staff was asking her that, is she seeing the ghosts of the cockroach that she's talking about? Because they came to clear off the cockroach from our office, like, this is an insect now, we shouldn't be in the office. But this is our own friend. This is the cockroach that keeps her company in our own office. And to think that our own house is close to our workplace, and people keep asking her questions like, why is our residence close to the workplace? She said because she doesn't want to pay, like, because of expenses, so it's easier for her, and to also attend to emergencies. That we understand. And in Japan, this woman is known as the Iron Lady, like the Margaret Thatcher as a prime minister. She is a really firm, heartfelt prime minister. So for her to be saying that she felt lonely, this is someone that is married, this is someone that has grandkids.
Is she currently married?
Yes, she's currently married. This is someone that have grandkids. Because I had to check, because when I saw in the comment section, people are like, God, don't let it get to this stage, Joe. This is stage 4, stage 5. You know, people were saying
yes, I saw that
comment.
too,
yeah, let me just take 2 comments before we continue. This is official Queen Nama, who says, God, I beg, make Ifeanyi reply me. I don't want to make my condition reach this
like
level.
this.
So this is Massive, who says, them they crazy so, but they don't joke with welfare of their people. Okay, that aside. Now this is Rachel, who says, imagine getting emotionally attached to a cockroach because you were lonely. This is definitely one of the most unexpected things I've read. Well, on TikTok, you get to see chats with lonely foreigners. Yes, we see that a lot on TikTok, you know, you see lonely foreigners, and there's some people in the comment are always saying that, that's why when we tell you people that, oh, those in Canada, those in this, that they are lonely, it is true. Now to think that Ashake's song is actually relative. Lonely at the top, lonely, lonely, lonely.
Not the only top people, they're lonely again, no.
But this is our prime minister, so it's actually funny. And it begs the question that it really gets to a certain point, like, of power or wherever, that you start thinking, absurd, because Nigerians cannot even relate. Because we have the things where they worry us. So God just apportion problem to everybody.
I mean, I just hear the strangest things from Japanese, right? Because I heard one lady that broke up with her actual boyfriend, her physical boyfriend, to go date an AI. And she got married to an AI. Now I'm hearing someone talking about her loneliness and how cockroach made her, kept her company. Okay, maybe it's just something. Maybe it's a mental and psychological thing that is very common among the Japanese, because I just really be here. I also saw one that is it where you hear is it a Japanese that got married to a fence?
No, that's not Japanese.
So this sounds like
Australia
you just
too.
hear the absurd, or maybe they just want to feel relevant or something. Because cockroaches, first of all, are very disgusting. Cockroaches smell. So, do you keep the cockroach close to your table, and you know how they are so
eat all
quick?
Manner of things. Don't forget.
So like how, or maybe
is
it has it transcended the physical, and we are now is now something very spiritual where she communicates. You know, it's something like that happens.
Staff members were asking
right?
her that,
so
she's seeing the ghost.
There's also something else.
Or
maybe the spirit of the person that she wants is in the cockroach.
And then she was sensing.
Hey God! No, this time took Rita Edochie to spiritual realm.
All of these
now you are entered.
All of these are possible reasons as to why she's communicating with the cockroach.
Yeah, I think that the world is moving towards an era where people will start getting married to robots, their sex toys. Yes, and I would not like to speak on the spiritual level. I'd like to say that indeed people are very lonely. And when she says she befriended a cockroach, it could be that there was no one to really talk to. The only person she could speak to and will not spill the secret is the cockroach. She's a prime minister, for crying out loud, and there are certain things that concerns her work that are highly confidential, and she can't even share with her own husband or family members. And those kind of things can drive you nuts, because you have to absorb this information no matter how crazy they are. Then you also have to think of possible solutions, and people are relying on you to provide those solutions and make it work. So at that point, you realize that you are alone in this world, because nobody will help you.
Now.
No, what I'm trying to say is this is highly psychological. And if she had a therapist she could confide in, then fine. But you know that there are certain kind of job descriptions that you have, and you will not be able to speak to anyone about your job. Not even your closest therapist, not even your husband, not even the people, not even your children, and you love them so much, but you realize that this part of your life has to be highly classified. So I think that something has to be put in place. Maybe they will have a therapist that would cater to these people, listen to them, and also ensure that those therapists are, who come be the therapist.
Right, this is quite interesting. I mean, I find it very interesting, and I find it, I really want to read more on it. I even want to find out who she is, you know, how she thinks, for her to even be the prime minister. You know that is not beans. But don't let us forget the place of culture shock to us that but we got this news, we see it on the blogs, and we're like, waiting this so like what is
and as an African, you'll be like, hey, village people.
So for us saying I'm lonely, literally in our own interpretation, that means she doesn't. The first thing that came to people's mind in the comments was like, she doesn't have a husband. So I had to check if this one is married, because you can't tell me she's lonely.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind.
So you can see the shock. So that now looking at them now, if she's saying she's lonely, it could be that, just a space of, because they believe in the power of reincarnation, all those things, like all those spooky things. Yes, because when the staff came up and said, she couldn't eliminate it because of that reincarnation thing.
So she said it?
Yes. So it was the staff that had to now bring all these pesticide, the fumigation officers to come and clear the whole office. So she has a belief system. They have a belief system. You know, Chidera from the beginning, she mentioned that Japan has a weird way that when they tell you some things, you'll be like, okay, does it exist? So it's a shock to us, but to them, time might not be. Because someone who is a prime minister, in Nigeria now, we the talk say our own politicians are supposed to go for mental evaluation. But for someone that is the prime minister, that they call her Iron Lady, you know that she must have gone through series and series, and she had been in the cabinet before. Come on now. But yet, for me, I just feel like this is not psychological. It's just that our languages are different, and we see it as a shock in Nigeria.
All right. Yes. So yeah, we have to move on to the next area. Before we even move on, do you think that this is psychological, or you think this woman don't they see
our spiritual problem?
Or she's moving mad gradually, and they don't know. Anyways, let us know in our social media handle on what's hot on Instagram. Chidera, please give us the next story.
Okay, so the Nigerian NHS worker caught driving wrong way on motorway. So Ayodele was caught driving against the flow of traffic on an entry slip road to the M61. He reportedly told the police he was trying to get home to his pregnant wife after work. He already had 9 penalty points on his license and faces the possibility of a driving ban when sentenced.
Whoa.
So this is what a Manchester-based Nigerian NHS worker, Innocent Ayodele, allegedly did while trying to avoid a traffic jam in Manchester. Now let me take some comments here. This one is from Marcel Schmid, and he said, emergency that tends to cause a fatal disaster, trying to meet up with whatever emergency and yet about to create a fresh emergency that might be very deadly. A very big round of applause for you. You really fit a Zoom. This one is from Alabi and says, the devil works overtime, I guess. This one's from Webster, and he says, yesterday at the Faculty of Arts Unilag, there was a designated way to enter and exit, and everyone was expected to strictly adhere to it. A lecturer was leaving and went out through the entrance. Nobody said anything to him. He broke the rules because he felt that, as a lecturer, they did not apply to him. The average Nigerian man in a position of power seems to develop this mindset that rules are for everyone else, not him. Strong yam head. Nonsense. So this one is from Mamfe. I keep telling Nigerians, it is about who we are as a people. This is who we are. We cannot hide our identity, even if we move to a functional society. Until we decide to change for good, nothing good will happen in Nigeria. Burrow was probably just thinking that he was still in Nigeria, and he forgot that he was in Manchester. And okay, so he had a good reason, but does a good reason excuse a dangerous behavior? No, it doesn't, as you and I would probably agree to that. And intentions does not cancel consequences. He had an intention for taking the one way, and this is just a typical display of what he may have been doing when he was in Nigeria, right? So the Nigerian spirit in him probably thought that it would be best to take the one way so he could get home very quickly to his pregnant wife. But he refused to, put into consideration that what if, suppose he had collided with a moving vehicle head on. That's like another fatal, it was, in fact, there was not even a fatal disaster. He was just rushing up to meet his pregnant wife. So that would be like a fatal disaster caused by impatience because he wants to probably go and meet your, wife. Now, it takes me back to a clip I saw on X involving Jemima Osunde and a random motorist. You saw it, right? So she was like, a police officer was in the car and they were treading on the wrong path. So she blocked the way. She was like, she's going to have to cancel her plans until these people do the right thing. Nigerians, we are so, I don't know how, we are so...
The adjective she's looking for.
Lawless. The Lord is
so lawless.
Oh my God.
It shows in way too many endeavors of ours. We are so... Okay, the word is not coming. We are just so lousy as a people. It's really, really bad. And until we actually get a grip of ourselves and understand that not every single society we find ourselves in operates the way a typical Nigerian would operate in. Now, this man might be facing the consequence. He already said that he had 20 penalties on his license, 9 penalties rather on his license, and this one might just be the one that will ban him from driving as a motorist in Manchester. Now, as he has been caught by the law enforcement, he didn't finally go back to his wife the time he wanted to go back to her, because that caused another delay, and he was taken to the police station for questioning and the rest of it. All for what? All for what?
I agree with you. Quickly, Tishan, do you have anything to say?
Well, very quickly, it just brings me to different, from stories that this whole August now has been a whole lot of stories, and we've been hearing, celebrities also going to the UK and they are being remanded, having different things. We have people carrying drugs. We saw a particular 101-year-old woman who put drugs inside fufu to move to the UK. I'm like, is UK a market hub for Nigerians? Because we are hearing Nigerians this, Nigerians that, Nigerians this, Nigerians that. I would have wanted to say, but because of time, let me just leave it this way.
So for me, I was just imagining, as this man was passing one way, was he shouting, aja, 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 or did he have a siren that was just making noise? I mean, if it was in Nigeria, you even hear the horn, pam, like they'll just be making noise, and you don't forget, say, no be in home country, in the where anything goes. He's feeling like, he could break the law over there. Or did he deliberately do it because didn't they tell you, didn't they give you the update?
No, I thought it was impulsive because maybe what was happening that was an emergency. But yeah, we would have just called.
So the emergency would have got his car and started running.
I don't know they have down, but we would have just called emergency line.
No, I think maybe, or like you guys have said, maybe village people are after him, because how do you get to the UK where before traveling you already know that that's a structured society?
Now you
now
carry
there,
your own
only you said they drive that one way, no reason now. Anyways, this is where we have to close and draw the curtain for today on What's Hot on Silver Television. But we'll be going over to Reading 93.7 FM by 11 a.m. this morning to have more trending conversations across social media. My name is Vera Chuku. Have a wonderful day if you can.
Okay, for Nigerians, I want to strongly believe that we can always do better. Because all of this news on the tabloids, on the headlines, and we are saying those living Nigeria to the UK is getting out of hand. It's really getting out of hand, and I believe we can do better. My name is Tisha, and thank you for tuning in. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, my name is Chidera Amakanya Dioa. See you next time.